Hi, I'm Sheila Palmer.
And I'm Jonathan Feynman.
We are the co-hosts of the Salem Yuletide Tour of Homes. This year we were unable to do a live tour, so we are doing virtual tours. And we're extremely grateful to PSE&G for their generous support of this effort.
We also want to thank the homeowners who opened up their homes this year despite all the troubles and decorated and let us in and you to make this video. We thank you and we hope you enjoy this video.
Hello, we are Sue and Kurt Harker. Welcome you to the Rebecca and William Matlack House at 24 Oak Street in Salem City, New Jersey. Our 1868 Carpenter Gothic house caught fire during construction and was extinguished by the Union Fire Company. Aided by former Charlotte Hadley's photos, we labored 8 years on weekends and after work repairing plaster walls, upgrading services, and applying decorative arts. She painted floors and hung Bradbury and Bradbury reproduction period wall and ceiling papers, transforming both parlors and dining room back to the Victorian age. Seeing evidence of picture rail molding, I purchased a few hundred feet from Smick Lumber, spray painted it gold, and attached it, allowing for easy hanging of pictures. Thank you for visiting, and we look forward to welcoming you in person on future tours.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Caltapiano, and I am the Museum Collections Coordinator here at the Salem County Historical Society. We are here in the keeping room, which is decorated in a traditional colonial holiday style. Alexander Grant purchased the property in 1721, and the keeping room dates back to the 1690s, if not the early 18th century. The fireplace behind me is the original fireplace, which was uncovered in an excavation that was done in the 1980s, shortly after the Historical Society took over the property. We are open for regular museum tours, although our schedule has changed slightly. We're open from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., Tuesday through Friday, and you can call ahead to schedule a tour if you would like to come and visit.
Hi, and welcome to the Sarah Rumsey House. This home is a federal style house and it was built in 1810. Sarah Rumsey being two last names. Elizabeth Sayre was the first owner of the house with her daughter Rebecca Ann. When Elizabeth passed away, Rebecca Ann inherited the house and she sold it to George Rumsey in 1845 for $650. The first two rooms are the original part of the house. They heated the house with fireplaces in the front two rooms and also in the bedrooms upstairs. We fell in love with the house when we first saw it because of the character and the charm and of course the history. I thank you for coming today. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and come back and visit us next year for the tour. Have a great day.
Good morning. On behalf of the Salem Fire Department and the Fire Chief J. Fred Ayers, we welcome you to this year's virtual Yuletide Tour. The museum is open on the first Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 12 noon for anyone that would care to come out, visit, and look over the artifacts we have here in the station. Our prime piece that we are very proud of, I'm leaning on, I'm holding on to this in 1847. Columbia hand pumper. It was purchased for $800 back in 1847. The firehouse that it's housed in now used to be one of the first firehouse in the city. It was built in 1863. We have everything that you could imagine from the fire service in here on display. We have pictures, fire extinguishers, turnout gear, tools. We have a plethora of nozzles and everything that you can imagine that we used to use during the fighting fire, and we still use some of it today. There's 2 floors to the firehouse here. There's fire chief's pictures on the wall going up the stairs, and hundreds of pictures all throughout the building of fires past and present. We're sorry that we're not going to be able to do the Yuletide Tour this year, but hopefully we will see you next year, and please be safe and come out and see us on the first Saturday of the month. Thank you.
Welcome to the church manse. This is the manse for the First Presbyterian Church, otherwise known as the pastor's house or parsonage. I'm Sheila Palmer, and I'm the wife of the pastor at First Presbyterian Church. The manse was originally built on the foundation of a much older home. It was built in 1906 when 2 sisters, Artemisia and Martha Van Meter, bequeathed the house in perpetuity, always to be lived in by the pastor of the First Presbyterian Church in Salem. The house has undergone renovations over the years, but some of the things are still original. For instance, the windows behind me on either side of the fireplace, and the pumpkin pine floors throughout. The pumpkin pine floors are quite rare. I'm so glad you came to visit today, and I look forward to seeing you all in person next year.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Cook. My husband and I, along with our son Sam, own the Royal Port Antiques. We purchased the building in 2001 as an abandoned warehouse. After extensive renovations, we opened the Royal Port in 2004. This warehouse is known as the South Jersey Farmers Exchange. It was built around 1918. It's 12,000 square foot and sits along the banks of the Fenwick Creek. We also sit at the entrance of the beautiful historic Salem, New Jersey. The building represents an important chapter in Salem's early 20th century history. It is the sole surviving structure of a larger complex of buildings that served the surrounding farming community. The building was designed to provide storage space for local crops. The exchange sold poultry and cattle feed, fertilizer, and grass seed, which was shipped along the Delaware, including Philadelphia and Camden, New Jersey. The city of Salem was long recognized as an important place of trade and commerce. The structure of this building is distinctive in terms of its hollow blocks of glazed tiles used for the exterior walls. The interior building maintains a lot of its original equipment used in the early 20th century to dry corn. A dryer, as well as its accompanying equipment, exists as it did then. This equipment is part of the history of Salem and the Farmers Exchange. Stop by to experience a bit of Salem County's history. Have a great Christmas. Thanks for joining us virtually.
Hello, my name is Father Chuck Messer, and welcome to St. John's Episcopal Church, 76 Market Street in Salem City, New Jersey. Our local church may have had its start with the 1675 ship's arrival of John Fenwick, founder of Salem, that among the British passengers were several British Anglican church members. The number of Anglicans grew until 1725 when the congregation began its first formal structure. During the Revolutionary War, the original church was heavily damaged by British troops in 1778 Salem City's raid, probably because the British commander posted a list of rebel Salem men, 3/4 of whom were Episcopalians. By 1838, the present church was dedicated, being a blend of Norman and Gothic revival styles. The Haut-Lebeau pipe organ was installed in 1868 and replaced by the present 1937 Kimball organ. The chapel was built in 1883 and the parish house in 1962. The adjacent cemetery contains many pre-Revolutionary War graves up to the present with accessible paths. Thank you for visiting St. John's Episcopal Church, and you're welcome to visit us anytime in person.
Welcome to the Richard Woodnut House. The house dates back to 1738. It is 3 floors. It has oak flooring with mahogany inlay. The house was updated in the 1800s, so it has the leaded glass windows all at the top through the front windows and side windows. There is an egg molding throughout the house above the doorways. It also has a King of Prussia marble fireplace. It has an original staircase from the 1738 era, along with the wood molding behind the staircase. There is also a cold cellar in the basement, and out back there is a gardener's cottage from the 1800s that also still has the old wood stove inside and the dresser and bed area where he would lay, and a wood fireplace with a basin sink. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you in the upcoming years in the future. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Debbie B., and welcome to the George Garrison House. It was built in 1834 and originally a double house. In the 70s, the city acquired the home and developed the single-family dwelling, and my husband and I purchased the house in 1981. We love it here. We love the quaintness, we love the small rooms, and in the summer I spend most of my time out in the garden. We hope you enjoy our virtual tour this year, and next year join us for the actual tour. It is so much fun and lots of activities, and George and I both wish you the best holidays. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Natasha Vitale. My husband Steve and I own Tadmore Distilling here in Salem. The distillery is in the Sarah Hall House, built around 1790 by a widow. Over the years, it has been a store, a school, a Masonic lodge, and most recently an office. We distill here on the weekends, and we are open for tours and tastings on Saturdays from 1 to 5 p.m. When you come here, you can learn all about the distilling process, see us in action, and then afterward, enjoy a cocktail. Thank you for coming to the virtual tour, and we hope to see you in person next year.
Hello, and welcome to the Gideon Skull House in historic Salem, New Jersey. Let me tell you a little bit about this house. This house is a federal house with some Georgian aspects to it. Behind me is the older part of the house from 1742, and we are standing in the 1820 part of the house. The part behind us was facing the river, as was the custom in the 18th century, and the 19th century part of the house faced the street, as was the pattern back then. Let me take you to one of my favorite rooms, the music room. So this is our music room. This room was originally a double parlor. There were doors that connected this to the other section, and now it's just a parlor over there and a music room over here. We play a lot of piano, which is wonderful. This is furnished not according to the period of the house, but is in French 18th century style furnishing. The floors are pumpkin pine floors, and behind me is a punch and gouge carved fireplace. Jonathan and I are newcomers to Salem, and we were attracted by the very friendly people and the historic homes here. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you in person next year on the tour.
Welcome to the Clement Acton home built in 1790. Jim and I purchased the house in 2005, and we've made this historic house our home, our family home. And Christmas time in Salem is our favorite time of the year.
As Seal said, the home was built in 1790. It was first deeded in 1818 to a woman from Alloway, Sarah, and she was the first woman resident in the home. Since then, there's only been about 15 different residents that have lived in this home since 1790. This is the original part of the home where we're standing now. Two other additions were put on, one in the kitchen and another upstairs bedroom was added in the late 1800s or the early 1900s. After that, in the 1950s, there was an addition put on the back, which is kind of like a mother-in-law suite. Our floors are random width, pumpkin pine floors. The original fireplaces were in the corner, and they've been changed around when they changed putting the heating systems. The cooking fireplace was in the basement and had an outdoor entrance to it. What we'd like to do is be able to welcome you all next year. Instead of a virtual, we have you come through the home next year. So Seal and I would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year.
Welcome to First Presbyterian Church in Salem, New Jersey. I'm the Reverend Dr. Gary Cecil, pastor. And it is a delight to be a part of this Yuletide tour virtually for this occasion. I'd like to say a few things about this very spectacular church. On the outside, we have a steeple that's very prominent, 165 feet tall, and it's seen from the Delaware River. So most people know us from a distance even and can see that structure so prominently. But here on the inside, we have some very special things too. I'd like to point out, first of all, a cross that we have on the wall, which was donated by a member lovingly. She was a designer and artist, and she designed that cross. And then below it, another member as well donated this fabulous baptismal font made of marble, all to the glory of God here at First Presbyterian Church. And the very stone beneath is an original stone from 1821 when we first started the Presbyterian Church in this community. We've been a presence here for 200 years plus, and this church was built in 1856. And another feature of this church is our Tiffany window behind the pulpit with a picture of Jesus at his resurrection. These are a couple of things that we are very proud of here at First Presbyterian. They speak to our history and to our membership who have contributed so much to the life and work of this church here in Salem, New Jersey. Thank you.
Well, hello, and welcome to Barrett's Plantation House Bed and Breakfast, owned by Craig and Gaynell Schneeman. Today, we are standing in the room that is considered the heart of Barrett's. This is the original Barrett structure erected on this property probably around the year 1700. At some point in the 18th century, this building that this room is in was moved to this spot to serve as the kitchen for the formal brick house that had been built by the Barrett's family. Plantation was originally 500 acres. All that land does not belong here now. Normally on the tour, we have live 18th century music here in the house, and this is a favorite spot for those on the tour to have a seat after they've seen the property and relax for a few minutes before they head out. Also, if you're interested in a haunted site, we have been investigated by 2 paranormal groups and are also featured in a book called The Haunted Gloucester, Salem, and Cumberland County. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you in the future, and have a wonderful holiday this year.
Welcome to Salem Art Bank. This is Georgian style, built in 1926 for Salem National Bank and Trust Company by architect Thomas Edward Ashe. In 1954, extensive remodeling was done for modernization, and the bank continued to serve until 1990s. Later, First Fidelity Bank and then Sun National Bank had been here. Salem National Banking Company was the oldest bank in Salem County, established in 1823. There was Queen Anne-style building here on our site, and it was physically moved to New Market Street, pulled by 2 horses, and has been used as a city municipal building. In 2016, the building was renovated as a gallery space, specialized in custom framing and art printing. For Yuletide Tour, we display all the ledgers from the bank and open the interesting main vault. Thank you.
Welcome to the Swedish low-log cabin situated in Johann Prince Park on Market Street in Salem. The very first settlers in Salem were actually Swedes and Finns. They came in 1635, and originally they called this area New Sweden. They were only here for about 35 years, and then the English took over and it became Salem. The low-log cabin was brought by the Swedes as a technology, if you will, on how to build very quickly with the wood that was found in the area. Now you'll notice the fireplace is made of stone because they didn't have bricks, and some of the stone actually was ballast that came off of the ships. The low-log cabin became obsolete very quickly as the farmers became more affluent, and they built bigger houses. And these were meant to be used for storage or Swedish saunas eventually. The Swedes were very astute in working with the Lenni Lenape Indians, and so they lived a good life here and were very fair in their dealings with the native people. We hope you'll come and see the low-log Swedish cabins. It was the prototype for all log cabins from the beginning of our settlers moving south and west. This was the prototype. Thank you for visiting.
Have yourself a little happy Christmas. Have a happy day. Let all your worries fall away. Once you have a little happy heart, let the dreams start. Happy New Year's on yourself a little